What's up, Fabcasters? RBAR here, and I am back from my trip. I've been gone 21 days practicing benevolent detachment. So everybody, the whole world right now is practicing social distancing. Benevolent detachment's like social media distancing. So went offline 21 days. I didn't know what was going on in the world because I was halfway around the world. I was literally in the middle of the desert. Started off just doing my writing trip, and then it was 21 days of being detached. I was around other people, so I was getting news from people who had the internet, but we're on lockdown now, so can't go anywhere. It's a good thing about living right on the beach. I just went for a jog in my backyard, which is legal, I think, in California. But I put together some resources in this time of quarantine when no one is allowed to go anywhere, everybody's trapped inside. I think the temptation is to do the opposite of benevolent detachment and go online and keep reading news and keep reading stats, which there's a place for that. And the reason why I'm putting this out there is because I feel some sort of responsibility. I don't want to just gaff it off. So I put four podcasts that I think are going to be really helpful for you in this time of quarantine. One is the Culture Matters podcast by the Village Church in Flower Mound, Texas. Culture matters. So as Christians, we should know what's going on in the culture, and we should know how to respond and be the reflection of God in this culture. Two, Rhythms for Life podcast by Rebecca and Gabe Lyons, and it's based off of Rebecca Lyons' latest book, and Rhythms for Life. So they talk about COVID-19 and how we can even practice 4 rhythms for life in the midst of quarantine, going for walks, things like that. The third podcast is Conversations with John Eldredge. So it's really conversations with John and Stacy Eldredge and their other crew, but benevolent detachment, that's where I got it. It's from John Eldredge's latest book, Getting Your Life Back. Get Your Life Back. And it talks about, just especially in this time when you're stuck at home, you're going to be so tempted to just scroll and troll. And let me tell you, like, for the past 21 days, there is life without social media. You can do it. You don't even have to check Gmail. You don't have to check anything. You can go offline and you'll be okay. Fourth, I downloaded a podcast from John Piper, Pastor John Piper, the Ask Pastor John, APJ podcast, and it's about what do I do with my coronavirus fears. So those are 4 podcasts, and one app I want to tell you to download. It's called Pause, P-A-U-S-E. Yeah, pause, like, hitting pause. It's called the 1-minute pause practice. And John Eldredge talks about 60 seconds. That's all 60 seconds to get recentered and to say these 2 things. Lord, I give everyone and everything to you. That's sort of John Eldredge's version of what I say is who's in control and to whom will I listen to today? Who's in control and to whom will I listen to today? All right. I think that's the police looking for people who aren't practicing quarantine. Yeah. Okay. All right, Fabcasters. I hope that in this time of quarantine and in the midst of all this confusion and fear, here's what I got to say in closing. Don't feed the fears, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And the context of that 2 Timothy passage is telling people about the Lord. That's the context. Use this time to be a good witness, to show people with your life how Christians react to pandemics. No fear. We don't have time for fear with a God who's sovereign. If you believe in the complete sovereignty of God, then He's doing something. He's active in the midst of this pandemic. So let's show people how we respond to pandemics and to sickness and to death and to dying, because for us, death is not the end. It's the means by which we get to eternity. So we're not afraid. So role model that. Parents who are stuck home with your kids, use this time to seize the moment to talk to your kids about how we don't fear anything. We trust the Lord. All right, Fabcasters. Talk to you later. Peace.